why this award, how do I say, these awards are so important to those companies, alright? Because the most important thing that they need to get recognitions, at least we've done something, right? Because ESG entire system versus with the ISO, they are slightly different. ISO, like example, we need to maybe you focus on the 90,005, 14,000, and then another one I forgot what is really. That's the three ISO. Those people normally they have in the company. But you look at the entire ISO, they content of 60 or 70% of ESG ecosystem already. So those company, if they have a ISO, so that's an advantage for the company because of whereas they come to the ESG, for them it's nothing new for them. It's quite easy for them to start on reporting, what's the SDG 17, so the practice is what we call ESG Pioneer 1. So basically, ESG Pioneer 1 is talking about the fundamental that just I mentioned to you guys. The fundamental of what is E, what is S, what is G, at least you work out exercise. So some of the people they're asking, hey, if I don't have ISO, how? Then you need to practice the SDG 17. The 17 sustainability development goals. Once you practice it, then at least all these things they will do. Then what is the functions? So we segregate into three pillars, under E, under S, and under G. Then come to reporting. So you have done all these SDG 17 already. Right? You need to convert it into the stories. Because why we need SDG 17? You start from 1 or 2 years ago. Because you need to collect data. Without those data, how are you going to break the story into the reporting? Then if your story is too good already in the SDG 17, then can you make it your reporting, are relevant into your company or not? So ESG reporting award is nothing wrong and right. It's just a matter of how you're going to grade a company image and the company, those activities, the thing that we're talking about governance, the thing that we're talking about environment, everything you put into the reporting. But of course, the reporting, we have the international financial reporting also. We have an international GHG reporting also, and then we have the ESG reporting as well. So that's what we call ESG reporting awards. Like last year we have 8 participants. We are there to go for reporting. Indeed, at the beginning, there doesn't, how do I say? A lot of companies doesn't break enough to go and take the reporting award because they feel that it's too tough and too difficult. I said no worry, because the entire design of the reporting training, you probably might take around 2 weeks. I said, can man, 2 weeks? I said possible. The reason why you have done for the SDG 17 before already. So if you go for reporting, it's not that difficult for you. But some of the company, they got nothing. And then they say, I want to go for reporting and get this kind of award. I say, impossible. Because you cannot produce those evidence the company have been done before. So reporting, some of the company, they got a lot of story to write. Up to 80 over pages. Because come by chapter. So you think about it, they take how long to work on it? Because those companies, they already started early. Maybe 2-3 years ago already. Indeed, for this ESG program, they already practice overseas around 12 to 13 years ago. We just started. We started last year. We considered in Malaysia one of the earliest group. That's why they call Penang Lead. Penang is the one who lead on building those ESG, award reporting, all this and that. So we have all those digital reporting on the web. Because we meet this Ministry of Army Telecommunication. Telecommunication. So they need for those digital reporting. You all done already, all this. I said, done already, all this and that. So slowly the Ministry of Environment, the Ministry of Energy also involved in it. They say, oh, you all done this part already. So right now, you go for second step for the carbon emissions. So that's the reason why we involved is a GHG. So you guys are the first batch that I try to explain to you guys what is GHG. Because so far I close it and I get this opportunity for my accreditation. That's why I explain to you guys. That's why I tell you come here. You know. Then eventually there's a recognition award. Why? You go through the entire awards already. So you need a recognition, at least your status and your standard. The people ask, you can answer what is ESG. You know. Why? Because you know what is GHG is one of the crucial part. And then another topic is the reporting of your financial reporting. This one is fully relevant to your. I cater to your one of the association, one of the name CMPI, the chapter. Correct, right? That they prepared. So I talked to all they all. I said at least your association can come out with an idea. I already give them a framework that which is how are they going to comply with this reporting? What is the content element they need to provide in order for you to publish this reporting? You know, but again, this SME APEC company, they are a bit reluctant to publish their accounting, you know, for the profit and loss or those things. But unfortunately, this is the process. Without those financial reporting, I don't think you can go for SAR. You know, under A's category, we need to provide this IFSR. Without this, you cannot. So if you achieve the first step, second step, then eventually the third step, you have all the evidence and then you can provide. Then the recognition award is the final step. So this award, they need to renew every single 3 years. Every 3 years, they need to renew again to improve your company profile and then your company asset, those governance, everything at the same time. And again, this award, what I put the USM APEC accreditation. You guys have to remember now, every single documentation that which is we need to publish, we need to tell people, at least you need to have one university to back you. So our Malaysia ESG impact, they very much depend on the USM. Because USM is the one policy maker for ESG. Because USM got the sustainability impact ranking goal number 4 out of 1,500 universities. So our Malaysian government is so proud of it. They say, you guys is the one who work on this, the ESG thing. So we are here department into this sustainability department. So last year we got this SDG 16 in the Asia number 1. It's the domination, the one that we involved. So we're helping them to create the impact and the image. We got the award ESG last year, number 1 of the SDG 16. Right? So what is the ESG Pioneer Awards? So this thing I try to simplify it. Meaning that readiness. You know, just like I mentioned to you, that's a fundamental. SDG 17, at least we go through. You show people that, oh, at least I know what I'm doing and what I actually contribute to this ESG Pioneer Awards. So like this year, Wellcome they got the ESG Pioneer Award. At least you all have been laid on the fundamental, you know. At least Lina aware about the CSR contributions, you know. So this might be related, you know, to this Pioneer Award, meaning that the company is ready, you know, to practice enter into the ESG program activities. You know, because a lot of companies they cannot comply is because of they are not ready at all, you see. So I mean throughout the years, you have one entire years, you need to segregate activity that how much you contribute into this ESG thing. So what is the benefit? Like just I mentioned to you, what is the E, what is the S, what is G? So all these ESG pillar is help you to strengthen your company image. You cannot practice like, oh, because I just wanted to follow only. That's wrong, you know. Because of your reporting going to show your company strength, you see, at least to tell people that this is what I contribute and then benefit to what and what. And then eventually that's the impact. I share you a very good example of like BBA. BBA, they got a very good reporting. And then I just read and noticed it. Hey, this entire reporting actually done by KPMG. KPMG charged them very expensive. Charged them very expensive. The CEO told me, he said, oh, I spent so much money on this reporting, all everything. Then I said, well, I mean, you spend so much money for your reporting, but do you know what actually you're doing or not? Because from their reporting, like Elite Brenda saw before, it's something do a lot of CSR, but you should sell your company muscle, to tell people that how good we are, you see. You are selling your water resources. Yes, you contribute CSR, meaning what? At least whatever you earn from profit and loss, you secure a certain fund that you're helping people. At least there's an impact. Know about who is BBA. Alright, that's good enough. But yet you need to tell people how good is your quality of water, you see. You have a metrology tool to test your water quality. So my question is very simple to them. I say, how are you going to test your water quality? Can you explain more on science? Cannot. Because KPMG got no idea about what is science. You need to tell people that, how you test and how you calibrate your tools whereas you're facing this water quality issue, you see. I share a very good example like Seoul Garden, the Korean, F&B company. I tell you to talk until bacteria, Some people they say, hey, you're talking about this ESG, are we going to solve those, recipe, those, things that what we have done, everything into report? I say, no. At least you're selling something that which is how good you are, what's your strength. So Seoul Garden, they compiled the entire report. I think probably quite a lot, at least 40 over pages. It's talking about how are they going to preserve fresh foods. And then they segregate all the utensils. This is what, and all this and that, everything. Even though the people are wearing the clothes, why they wear this, why they wear that, why they practice using the utensil A and B and C and D. And then how are they going to measure the temperature? How good is the food freshness? So this is the thing they're going to share with you. So again, as I said, the fundamental, if it doesn't lay out properly, eventually there's a cost that you don't know how to create the story to sell your company image. So readiness is very important for your fundamental to be on this award, you see. And then come to reporting award. So reporting award means what? It's very simple. I highlighted future proof. So when people talk about, hey, what is the ESG? What is your carbon emissions numbers like? Stakeholder means that your customer, your boss, the payee. You ask, your reporting, can you show me? Can you tell me about your, GHG, your climate contribution, your financial reports? There's one of the chapter inside as well. So at least you can answer your reporting, and then we publish into our website, the official website. So just click and go in, and then they can see the digital reporting. All the evidence is there. So it means that at least you prove that you've done, but maybe not perfect enough. You see. So we're going to improve step by step. And then recognitions. Recognition means what? Avoiding fine. So we're talking about avoiding fine. Fine means what? Compound, You might be involved some legal issue, all this and that. But you have proof. Prove that those parties they already recognize your work has been done, the effort that you've been done. What is the protocol you need to follow? So you need to collect all these so-called better data collections. So those data you can support, those data you can tell, those data you can tell what's your gap analysis if you want to improve your company. So recognition is the final step, but that's a lot of job, right? So when people say, hey, I get this award, what's the benefit? Hang on the wall, like ISO. So like Nagoya, Mr. Darren told me, I got ISO award, everything, all of this be done already. Then I say, can you tell me PR? Then it doesn't sound like it's helped a lot, to our company, I said, yeah, because ISO is very much a stress on the documentation. So you also cannot prove that how good you are in the reporting. There's only ESG reporting. So those ESG reporting is proven that you've been done, those things have been, collected, those data, that which is your company have been contributed into this E and S and G. So that's why it's called ESG award can be a very powerful tool. You don't need to explain, you don't need to tell a lot. You just send them to your report. Last time maybe, when people ask, give me company profile, right? But company profile is very little, you cannot see much, you see. So that's why right now people want more. They want to understand your company, what's the content, how good you are, how far you can go. So what is the quality like? Some of the construction company out here talking about our company. If you're going to bid the company project, you need to pay for 10 times of bank guarantee. Or one machine costs around 5 million USD. You need to give them a pitch, 50 million USD, to show to the company that we're going to sell to them. My machine is worth for 5 million. Okay, so this one you consider first year supplier already. Then you're going to ask, you got reporting? So at that time they asked me, I said, Jiala already, what reporting you want? So they said, ESG reporting lah. So I said, ESG reporting, what's the content? I give you a company profile, whatever the information I give to you. They said, no. You need to give me an ESG reporting in order for you to go and bid the project. So I said, I got 50 million BG already. That reporting I cannot compete, man. I said, sorry. Because of this is 500 strong company that they required to achieve their KPI in order for their company to collect supplier ESG reporting. So they will consider you into the tier 1. So at that time I'm very painful. Then because of I started to learn about what's ESG already. Because I thought I got BG 50 million to bid my project. Definitely I'm stronger than anyone. Whereas those semicon company, they're very particular with this ESG reporting. They say without this reporting, you cannot go for tier 1. So you need to bid. Means what? Compete and they cannot compete, nobody bid already, then come to you. I said, definitely we cannot accept like this, you see, because we know that we got a lot of suppliers from overseas, because our company is boundaryless, you see, from everywhere. So I got no choice lah. I say, in this case, I have to prepare to go on it. But within first year, second year, we cannot achieve. So we are looking for the small step. So eventually, when I got this reporting, then I can still see to bid for a project for a particular time in the project. But it's very bad lah. My stakeholders can take my help already. They say, how I said, never practice, no specialist. Who going to work on it? So even though HR, even though quality, they make the help. We also don't know start from where you see. So at that time we are very painful. When they ask for reporting, say, so at least this is a powerful tool. You don't need to explain. You just send them a report that which is we are ready. This is the number what we have. Right? The numbers referring to the carbon emissions. That's why they say you are in a reduction or net zero. So right now the practice is net zero. At least you need to meet the minimum standard. So the day in the class, Nagoya is the first one. Why? Because the versus into the populations of employees, they go along. same time, the contribution of this about the carbon emissions, the data we collected also is not favorable enough. So I say then you are very dangerous because your stakeholder might not need your numbers because your number cannot meet their minimum standard. For example, Flextronic customer, you know, we need to do some research with you, but we need to provide me the numbers. So the number is positive, too high already. Now, usually the practice in the industry giving to compare 2 or 3 companies so that they can see how far your industry, you are in the between or you're below or you're too high. So at least you guys got an idea when talking about numbers, what's numbers. So the carbon emission number they're talking about can be a practice a net zero. So of course you need a better reputations. You need to show your ethical governance. If your governance not strong enough, people look at you. Sorry lah. We look at your governance, we know your company started, how far you can go with. So WellPoint need to practice a lot of governance, become a specialist, to tell your client that at least you need to practice that, practice this, are relevant into your company. And then again, ESG is man-made. Human activities will involve. So you will, as I mentioned to you, you need to have a lot of dispute. So whereas when people come to this point of view, at least say, I have a mediation, I have all these specialists, I have the account mediation, I have the industrial mediation, I have architect mediation, I have this engineering mediation. At least we have partnership. We have people to assist you and help you in order for you to sustain. Because, like what people say, when you go and look for the Chinese, you do business with Chinese, Chinese for everything. Right? You go to the shop, they say, I got everything. You know, why? Because you got a lot of networking. Even though you ask, this one got or not, even if it doesn't sell, say yes, I go to my store and take and collect and sell to you. You know, at least you have partner, you have networking. When people come to you, you know how to solve their problem. Rather than you say, oh, you stop already. WellPoint doesn't provide a pharmaceutical industry practice. Then you stop here. You got business come to you already, you know. Then you cannot tell that you don't know. You say yes, we have some specialists can advise you. So the practice is, the model is almost the same. Only the practice is different. So the sustainability is telling you that at least you got connection, partnership with those people involved in the pharmacy. They can help you and come and advise you. Then you can advise your client directly. You see? So sustainability is very important. So better reputation, you need to stress on your corporate governance. This is your strength. Alright. So again, competitive advantage for these ESG practices. You need a leader to initiate the thing. Now, like my company, I'm the one who initiated the ESG thing. So if I doesn't initiate, if I doesn't practice it, nobody bother. Just leave it. You got no idea what is ESG. We're talking about ESG, 1, 2, 3. So that's wrong. So you guys are the one who practice, and then you guys are the one who front end to explain to your customer and your client what is ESG. These are UTM space. UTM space is under University of Utara, Malaysia. They got the government grant 16 million. Last 2 weeks, I met one of the MOU guys come to me and say, we wanted to work together with you guys. I said, why? I said, you guys already practice ESG and you guys already have all those modules. So we want to work together with you. So I said, why? Because government give a UITM 1 MOU worth of 60 million. You train for each student 5,000 ringgit. So how many students? 60 million divided by 5,000. That's a lot of students now. Because our government hope that once the training is gone through, the practice go to the market, at least they can help those people what is ESG. So this is the government initiative from federal. Penang, we are very difficult to get this kind of grant. Those grant about the ESG practice in higher educations, our federal already given to the state Kedah and Perak 1 million each state. So we were going to ask for the practice about this ESG grant 1 million for Penang. They say, oh no, Penang is one of the richest state that's like so you guys have to cari sendiri lah. At least the practice had to go for secondary school. Total we initiate for the 127 school. So we go for the Sudaraju. So you want to get those Penang lead. So that's the cost of you cannot get the grant from federal because of 1 million a year. So everyone got in the grant for the ESG initiative for those secondary school. Penang. So we start immediately because of the grant. Alright, so the attracting investment. So once you go for the final step, you say you have done all this reporting, you have done this report, you have done all this and that, everything. So why investor? Because like our front-end investor in the semiconductor, the supply chain is very important. Why? Because the first question they ask, are they ESG compliant? Those our supply chain management. So if those supply chain management sometimes they couldn't qualify to this ESG compliance. So the investor might be they reluctant to come over in Penang that at least they want to see somebody that can comply with this ESG, and then in order for them to achieve KPI. Like this Brenda, what's the name? Miyake, the one who did the Disney thing. The same thing because Disney come and audit them.
Our sister approved, right?
Oh, they're facing a big problem because their client be asking them whether you got this kind of thing or not. It doesn't have this the ESG relevant documents, those reporting, So it's a big impact for them, They cannot do their business, And then somehow their customer kind of audit them. They say, oh, gluttony ready. They are not ready. So this is a typical classic example. Once you involve those stakeholders, when they're coming to invest with you, they need this document in order for them to come into the operation. Because they look, in the first phase, look at their supply chain first. Whether those people are qualified to achieve their KPI. If those suppliers, like example, why people reluctant to go for Myanmar, Laos? Because they got no idea what is ESG. Even though Vietnam, right now, we have started to practice a lot already. Our neighbor country like Thailand also. So you guys need to explain a little bit to your customer or client to understand that once you got these awards, at least the recognitions come from the state government and the highest authorities. Because so far, ESG award doesn't assign any authority to recognize this award. Our system we assign to the state government because state government take the initiative to push this ESG exercise and practice. So without these recognitions, it might feel like lack of something for investor. Okay? First question investor will ask, your award come from where? Your recognition come from where? Eventually they're going to assess your reporting. Actually, we noticed that a lot of these stakeholders, even though they assess your reporting, also nothing right and wrong. At least you already practice the format is there. Whatever the information they required also already into your reporting. So at least you can